Hello and welcome back to the Japan Show. I'm your host, Mick, here with our other host, Isaac.
Konnichiwa minasan.
Konnichiwa. And today, we've been a little bit busy the past while actually. But we thought we would dive into some anime stuff, talking about the anime in Japan versus outside of Japan, kind of like the culture of today and how anime has been affecting it. And maybe touch on some of our favorite goods, things you can purchase that are anime, and what else is out there that maybe we're not so into.
Yeah, maybe just a broader, chiller chat this week because we've been so busy. Something to keep our minds off shit.
Exact
Stuff, sorry.
Yeah, come on. This is family friendly.
My mind hasn't turned on yet.
Yeah, that's all good. We'll forgive you. How's your week been? We've been busy. What have you been up to? I know that recently you were swinging some more golf.
Yeah, so been playing some golf. Played Saturday, Wednesday. I think I'm getting dragged into 9 holes this afternoon before I go back out to work, and then I'll go out I got tomorrow booked in as well. And then I've been training. I train jiu-jitsu every day so far, and then work. And then we've had some other more stressful stuff going on, which we'll reveal sometime in the near future. Got to let everyone else know first. But yeah.
Wow, that's exciting. Wait, I didn't even realize you've been training jiu-jitsu every day.
Yeah, so like Monday, 5:30, then I go in tutoring. Then Tuesday lunchtime, Wednesday night, Thursday lunchtime. And I was going to go today, but I got invited out to golf. So I've been putting this dude off for a month, so I better go out and play with him.
Fair enough. So
not on purpose. Like that sounds bad. Like I've just been busy. Like I haven't been able to get out.
Yeah. No, it's understandable. It happens. So jiu-jitsu, you've been enjoying it. I thought you had like an injury, or did that turn out to be okay?
Yeah. I did my hip flexor. It's still sore.
It
is still a little bit sore. I keep stretching it out. It's all right. Like, we were doing a sweep move where you the other person's standing up, you push, like you give them the splits more or less, and then use your momentum to roll up and hold their foot on your shoulder.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was in that position, and my foot just went too far vertically. Vertically.
Yeah.
And it strained my hip flex. So like I felt it go, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just carry on with session. It's not the end of the world. It was pretty sore the next day, and then for a couple of days after it was sore, I just stretched it out and let it do its thing, and it's getting better. I still went out to every day this week, and like we had a private class yesterday pretty much, which was really good. Like I got to learn some things.
Yeah.
Learn some chokeholds, some triangles,
Nice.
submissions. It's good fun. I'm enjoying it.
Nice. That's cool. Well, hopefully you'll get a bit more flexible, then you won't do your hip flexor next time.
I'm getting more flexible as the thing. Like my hamstrings have always been really tight, and they're starting to loosen up. Like I can get deeper in a stretch before I start now, which is always nice.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to get more flexibility, because that's always been like a big downfall of mine, flexibility.
So you're finding that jiu-jitsu is actually helping you with your flexibility. Well, that's good. I feel like,
yeah.
I mean, you know me, like, and I went there. Like, I've always had crazy flexibility for someone my height as well. Like, I don't know many people who are as flexible as me. Like, I don't do that much to be flexible either.
Unless they're like gymnasts or anything.
Yeah, so it's like really strange. But I do find like that my body in general, after doing like some jiu-jitsu training, I feel like everything's been worked out. It's like good general. Like
yeah, like you'd be surprised. Like you get put in a lot of headlocks, like in certain positions. Like we learned the anaconda and the Darcy, which
nice.
A pain in the ass to be put into because your head just moves in awkward positions. But like I'm surprised at how like my body's kind of loosened up. Like I drive for Uber every day.
Yeah.
And before I started training at the gym and that, I'd always get really sore. Like I couldn't move after getting out of the car, and I'd get a sore back while sitting down. But since training at the gym, I stopped at the gym currently just because I don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But just with doing jiu-jitsu, even like I can sit in the car for 6-7 hours and be fine. Get out. I'll be stiff when I get out, but once I moved around a bit, I'm fine.
Oh, that's great to hear. So there's a positive. There's a diamond in the rough.
I wouldn't even call it rough. It's just fun.
Well, I mean, amongst your busyness recently, it's good to know.
Yeah, like it's all good. It's like the busyness is good. It's just tiring. Like always on the go, 24/7's kind of. it's frustrating because I would like to have some more time to sit down, do some other things, spend some time with my fiance. Like we don't get to go do much at the moment. She just started placement as well, so she's hella busy.
Oh
so
man.
kind of just next 10 weeks or so is just gonna be hectic.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you guys will be able to spend some more time after this little hustle period, so to speak. My guy's flexing for me on camera. Cheeky.
They're not that big anymore.
Cheeky. Yeah, I have finally, I got like school stuff, a big finanza, however you call it.
Hey, you've been having a whale of a time down there.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem, people who have changed universities before have probably faced this. I got like 2 years. I won't name like the university specifically. If you know the locations, then you can probably guess. But like I was in Townsville, and then now I've come to Brisbane, and the university that I exchanged to is like, they gave me 2 years of credits over with no problem. But now that I'm about to graduate, they're like, oh, there might be these other like problems, and you might have not made the requirements. But like I've done classes that are like way higher, like 3rd year courses, instead of their 1st year requirement classes. And so I was like, why can't you just swap them? Like I've done more difficult classes. And so
yeah, uni's a pain in the butt like that. Like at the end of the day, they're a business, right? They just want more money out of you.
Yeah. So I was like, I got a job offer. I want to leave and I want to make money. So I past couple of days have been running around, talk to the right people apparently, because I got an email this morning telling me I've succeeded. They're gonna let me graduate. So, woof. That's a big weight off the shoulders. I hope I can like maybe when I relocate, because I'm gonna be heading to Japan. Once, because COVID there hasn't chilled out yet, so it's not like Townsville where I could just go do jiu-jitsu and roll around as of current situation. But it'd be good to like join a gym there at some point. I know.
I know my gym's no gi, but like I would really like to wear a gi. Would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a gi in my cupboard, and I'm like tossing up whether or not I take it to Japan, and then like it gives me a reason to like go to a class or not. The only guy that I know who currently trains jiu-jitsu in Japan right now is like they have to wear masks while they train. And I have asthma already, so it's like, oh, it would be so hard to breathe. Just
training. It's winter there too now, so it wouldn't be too bad right now. But like Townsville's summer, right? I trained Tuesday, and it was like when I got home, went to bed, it was still 27 degrees at 9 p.m. That's how hot it is here at night. Like it's fully dark, and it's still 27 degrees. And yeah, like you just want to drink water the whole time. You're so exhausted from after the warm up.
Yeah,
like, the warm up's like sweet. Nothing, like you just rolling around warming up, and then after that you just like you feel so exhausted because it's so hot and muggy.
Yeah I'm not jealous of that 27 degree nighttime sleeps. Sheesh.
Yeah, my aircon didn't want to cool down.
That's rough. Anyway, shall we get into the topics? Maybe we will. One topic, we're just breaking it up, a little bit. So, anime in Japan versus outside of Japan. I just figured like outside of Japan, but
like Western culture.
Yeah, for us it's like Western culture, and like specifically Australia. For me, like I was born and raised in Canada for my first 12 years, so my experience varies again. But what do you think then from the Australian perspective is like the average Westerner's point of view of anime? Someone who's maybe not even interested in Japan necessarily.
How they view it?
Yeah.
Oh, I can guarantee everyone right now, like I can guarantee you there's at least 2 people watching this podcast or listening to this podcast that are like, that's such a weeby thing. Like, it's seen as such like this subculture of dorkiness that no one in Western culture really wants to get into. Although they think they might, like, there's some things they might have an interest in. It's like, it's such a nerdy thing. No one wants to really open it up.
Do you think, because I feel like I've heard this argument before that they reckon anime is for kids because the Western version cartoons is like the Cartoon
Yeah,
Network.
this is where I think the issue is as well. Is like when they do the voice acting in English, they do it like a child instead of just doing it normally, which is what the Japanese do.
Oh, okay, so you think it has to do with the voice acting as well?
I think the voice acting, because really the animation doesn't change.
Yeah.
It might change like censorship based stuff, like, you know, showing body parts that aren't meant to be shown, or gory blood scenes and stuff like that. But I still think that in terms of censorship, it's minor. It doesn't really affect the animation. It's more voice acting that I've found. Like, I've watched the Japanese versions and then watched the English versions out of curiosity, just to see what the voice acting is like. And the voice acting generally, like, I don't want to say all anime, because some are alright. Like, I think Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Taizai, had a decent English cast. That wasn't too, how do you put it, like, too kiddish, but most of them are pretty like dumbed down in terms of the way they say stuff, and they exaggerate it way too far.
Yeah, okay. I think I get what you mean. I haven't watched too much of the English one. Like I started on what is it? Subs? I haven't even dipped in dub, so I don't know too much about that, but I have heard like a couple.
See, when
clips.
you're younger though, like,
yeah,
when you're younger, that's all you can find most of the time would be dubs. Like, back when I was a kid, most of the websites were just dubbed. It wasn't subbed.
Was it like Pokemon and stuff like that as well? Like on Australian network?
Yeah, like, yeah. So like, there was One Piece there, which I'm pretty sure had subtitles from memory.
Yeah.
On like, they had, I don't remember what it was called. I think it was on Channel 10. Like, every Saturday morning, the first 3 hours was always anime. Like, just episode after episode. Different anime. They play one a week.
Yeah.
Or like when I was, for instance, when Naruto Shippuden was out, being released, we had Foxtel at the time, and that was getting episode released every weekday afternoon, I believe, at a certain time. So we had it on record, and like Dad would sit down and watch with me. Dad got in Naruto for a bit there too.
Hey, that's so good.
Yeah, like it was good, and I can't remember if it was in English or Japanese with subtitles. I'm pretty sure it was in English, and the English wasn't that bad. Like, I find sometimes there was something I tried watching recently. I can't remember what it was. I think it was maybe Kuroko no Basket.
Yeah, Kuroko no Basket.
I think in English, because the Australian Netflix only had the English version, didn't have it subbed. So I went to start watching, and I was like, oh, this is pathetic. Like, the voices are so badly done.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a fan.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Since coming to Australia, I feel like I was almost the one that was left out. Like, even in high school, all my friends were like, yeah, man, I've been watching anime forever. And, like, we've mentioned before, like, my homie from Canberra, Martin, he would just be like, yeah, dude, I watched all this when I was, like, real young. And he just grew up with it. And it just blew my mind. Because on Canadian TV, the only thing we had was, like, the American Cartoon Networks. Like, we weren't shown any of, like, the Japanese, like, anime and stuff. So I think, like, the Western in general also changes in comparison to, like, Australian idea on it. But I thought maybe an average person who's not interested in Japan or anime, maybe because of that influence of cartoons, or maybe that's just because of my influence in Canada, might think that all of it is just made or catered towards, like, children stuff without looking up anything.
It's not.
Yeah, we know it's not. But, like, if you were to take Bugs Bunny and, like, the classics, that's all, like, family friendly, so to speak.
Yeah, but see, that's completely different. I would call that a cartoon. I think a lot of the time people mix up cartoons and anime.
Yeah.
Yes, they are both animated, but they are different genres.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at, is, like, because if someone didn't know about it, maybe that's why some people are like, wait, why are you watching anime? Like, isn't it a kid's thing? Like, I feel like that would happen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people get them confused. Like, they associate it with little kids, and that's why they're scared to watch it in case they find something they like. But I feel like that's why there's this misconception in the Western world, right? Western culture watches a lot of live action drama based stuff that's generally got good story, has some action. Or you got your love stories too in there. You got all your different subplots, but like I feel like what we've grown up on is obviously different, right? Whereas we have a Japanese friend here in Townsville, and she grew up on manga and anime, and like I know she said she would used to grab I think it was a newspaper back when she was there, and like look through for the times on when like the certain animes were airing because they'd come out with like a nightly release on Saturday night or whatever. And so, you got your times, then you go watch it. Whereas in Australia, once you hit, I feel like it's age like 13. Once you hit about 13 years old, you kind of get pushed into that more live action stuff.
Yeah, I think that's and like if you look on Australian Netflix as well, what's popular, right? There's a lot of live action stuff. There's a show right now called Superstore. It's like some comedy, but like live action one that my family's all just like watching. I go out there.
Hooked into.
Yeah, they're all hooked into it. And like, yeah, I think you're right on the money there. That's definitely something that's like once you reach 13 here, it's like live action. Like things that grew up and were really popular.
Well, like I think what I mean by that is like people, like actual physical beings. I don't mean like live action. It's like shot as they're doing it.
Yeah.
And one take. I mean like, it's real people.
Yeah. So that's why I think like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Star Wars, like all those ones blew up in Western cultures.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah. And like I enjoy all those as well.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. So
most of them.
Most of them. Yeah, that's a fair most of them. But
anything with The Rock's bound to be good though, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's the buddy that you're looking for. I was gonna say, because this is also maybe something that differs from us that we mentioned slightly, but for people growing up in Australia, then because you were here, how does anime play a role in like Australian childhood?
I don't think it really does. Right?
You don't think it does?
It does to a certain degree if you're introduced to it, yes.
Yeah.
Like cartoons do, right? Because there's certain cartoons like Ben 10 and stuff like that is not anime. That is a cartoon.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
Okay, I watched Ben 10 a couple times before going to school.
I feel like if you're introduced to it, and it's got to be something you're interested in, right? I feel like some people see anime and they're just not interested in that specific anime or that genre, and so they don't really get to experience it for what it is. Like I'm gonna use my brother-in-law for example. I know he doesn't like it, but I'm sure if he sat down and watched like Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin, I know he said the game looks good on it, but I just think it's the whole ideology of being able to sit down and watch. One, he doesn't have time for it, but two, like to sit down and watch something like that. I don't know. Like I think it's that prejudice going in.
Yeah, in comparison
it's
to
kiddish?
the live action stuff, it's like, but I'm going to be watching this. Yeah, it's that prejudice, like you say. That's fair enough.
And I think from Western culture, like it's not a huge thing either, so it's hard for people to get into without anyone. Like I can guarantee you right now, my kids are going to be watching anime from the time they're like, yeah.
Let's go.
From the time they come out, yeah, they're going to have something of Japanese content in their ears.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, a normal average Western household, unless there's someone that's into it, they don't really get exposed to it.
Yeah. And I think my friends from Canberra, like Canberra's quite a multicultural place. They have multicultural festival every year. That's how much they have it. And it's like all my friends from high school, they had said they've been watching anime forever. And the first time I watched anime was when I was in high school. I was probably 17. Or it was whenever Sword Art Online came out. That was my first anime to just like throw it out there into the ether. Don't judge me. The first season was great.
It's good. Yeah, the first season was unreal until they introduced that kid.
Yeah. Fair.
And if you haven't seen it, bad luck. Spoilers. It's been out a long time.
It has been. And so like exactly like you're saying, I was over 13 and that was my first time being introduced to it. And I didn't understand why all my friends were into it already, why they were watching it. But after watching like Sword Art Online, and then I can't remember what I watched following that. I just remember like later on I got into 7 Deadly Sins, and then when we were living together, I was like, yo, bro, you gotta watch this.
And then we watched Tokyo Ghoul. And
Oh, Tokyo Ghoul was one of my early ones too. Yeah.
I remember watching that when you were there. I'm pretty sure we started Haikyuu as well.
Yeah.
Well, you were there, or I was already watching it. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah. There's some good ones, and yeah, exactly like you were just saying. It's not like cartoons. Like I feel anime as a genre. It's because of how it's thought of in Japan. It's not thought as like a kids thing. Like shonen, the word shonen stands for like young boy. Just the word by itself.
It does too. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, right? But I have seen, as of 2019 when I was there, you go to the convenience stores and who's reading the weekly Shonen Jump? It's all my salary boys out here. All my men out here in suits. Or there's some female fans of Shonen as well.
That's because they don't have time for anything else.
They only have time for on the way home, quick read, home, sleep, back to work. But no, like it's not. There's no stigma of like it having to be a younger person's thing, even though it says shonen or shoujo is the other one, right? That it's more like love stories that they do. It's like a lot of
specifically directed towards the females.
Yeah, female fans, and that's one thing. So my girlfriend as well, being Japanese, she was into more shoujo and romantic anime and stuff before we met, and then we started watching some more shonen, some more action, some more Shingeki no Kyojin. And
you haven't watched that with her yet, though, have you?
I haven't watched that one with her, but like things like that. So we watched.
Oh, like Haikyuu.
Most recently, Jujutsu Kaisen. We watched Haikyuu together, and she was like, "Okay, shonen."
Oh, you also watched Shokugeki no Soma too.
That we did. So like after watching some stuff like that, she was like, okay, like I understand why you're such a shonen fan. I'm like, yeah, like, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I have two sisters. I like the romance stuff too. Like I watched, what was it? Princess Diaries and all those fantastic films back in the day.
You also watched like, what was it? Tonikaku Kawaii.
Yeah. I watched last season Tonikaku Kawaii, which is just a little cute one.
It's another love story, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm down for either, but you have to see the reason why they have the beauty for these, right? Like, it's to live out these scenarios or fantasies, just like reading The Hobbit, the book. That's why they have manga and artists who draw out their characters and their passion on the pages and make manga.
I feel like a lot of Westerners acknowledge it too. Like they're like, okay, this is an art form, but they don't really care about it. Is the difference.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to most Westerners that have some basic understanding of anime and they know the difference between anime and cartoons, generally they can get the basic understanding of how much effort goes into a anime and that it's not just this cartoon. They have a respect for it. They don't necessarily like it or watch it, but they have an understanding and a respect for it.
Yeah. And I think that's maybe something that might change in the future, like because of the internet and how popular. Like I feel like anime has been booming recently.
Oh, for sure, especially with Kimetsu no Yaiba, which I'm hoping to go see the movie this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going on the tomorrow.
I don't know. Like I think it's tomorrow here, but I don't know if it's showing next weekend. I might have to go next weekend. But like if it's raining here, I'm not playing golf tomorrow morning. I guarantee you I'm going to that movie.
I can guarantee you.
Ooh yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like it's going to change quite a bit, and I guess so. That's the last like question for this first part of animes. What is anime in 2021? I think we already covered it a little bit here, but I feel like
action baby.
Yeah,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I feel like it's a genre. It's like anime is just a genre of itself these days, where it's okay. It's becoming more acceptable to even in Western cultures to be an anime watcher and not be like a complete weeb. Like there's one side of the spectrum. Like
I feel I feel like there's this like a good bracket, right? You have people that couldn't give two flying dogs. Then in the middle, there's us that have an appreciation for it and love it, but we're not going to chew your ear off and try and convince you to go watch it. We're going to tell you that we think it's good and why we think it's good, but we're not going to, start diving in, telling you every scene or everything we like about it. We're just going to say, hey, it's good. Maybe you should check it out. And then there's a far end scale where they're like literally spoon feed you the whole thing.
Yeah, they break it down and they're like, this is why anime will improve your life. Okay, you're missing out.
And they're the kind of like nutty ones, and I think it gets misconception with them too often.
Yeah, I think there's like an abundance. There's a large amount, or the biggest group is like that middle group, like similar to us, who it's just like we have an appreciation. So that's what I think. Anime in 2021 and moving forward, I think it'll just be more appreciated. There's more anime coming out on Netflix Australia than ever before, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, but it's still not good. Like, okay, some of it's good, don't get me wrong. But compared to Netflix in Japan, the content, like, available is ridiculous.
I tip my hat to you, sir, but I'm not wearing a hat. You're very right. Like, I think that's one of the things, though, hey. But it's interesting because I'm not sure if Sony ended up picking up Crunchyroll.
They did. It's now it's their parent company. I think it's still being run as Crunchyroll, but I was looking at Google the other day and it came up that Crunchyroll is now under Sony. I'll just double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah, like as far as I knew, last time I heard was they're interested in buying it, and Sony had bought.
No, they were actually in the final, contracts.
Yeah.
It's got here, parent organization Sony.
What's the other one that Sony bought? Did they buy Anime Labs or was it?
Oh, I think they had something like Funimation already was their one, and then they bought Crunchyroll.
And it'll be interesting because obviously Sony realizes that this is the gateway. Like Crunchyroll just had their Annie Awards, their animation award event that happened like just last week, and Crunchyroll has a lot of users for Western countries who don't have.
They make a lot of money.
Yeah. For Western countries who don't have the access, like Japanese Netflix, Japanese Amazon, Japanese Amazon themselves, they have a specific different category, different pay grade to get like all the anime on their site again.
Really?
Yeah. Which I'm already a Prime like payer. I don't want to pay more just to watch the anime here. I'll watch it on Netflix then.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the case and that's all it is, I'll throw the extra dollars at it.
True.
I'll pay for the licensing. I don't even care.
True. I mean,
just so I don't have to do dodgy stuff.
Yeah, it's nice to know that these days there's more venues, like avenues to like actually pay to those artists, to all the people who are working on it. Because I feel like there was a time through our high school, probably the most, where there was just like no sites that would support anime enough. So you would just be like all.
And if they were dodgy. Like they looked dodgy. They weren't just like,
yeah,
this is a proper website kind of thing. Like I pirated a lot of anime through high school, mainly because there was no proper
there was
avenue for it.
Yeah, there was no proper one, and so no blaming anyone. That's fine. That was a part that was in the past 10 years, but now.
And I feel like the thing is, licensing issues are proper bad. Like, I feel like the issue why we struggle to get so much anime and music and stuff like that in the West is for all these licensing issues that just are so hard to get around. Like the legal battle of getting the anime to Western culture is such a hard one.
Yeah. I don't know why it is. It's just, yeah.
It's one of them things.
That's up to those people, but it seems like they've been progressing with it because there's been more coming out on Crunchyroll and other places.
Oh, no, for sure. But if you still look at music, like music still gets taken down off YouTube, even if it's the producer of the music sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of the licensing agreements in Japan.
Yeah, that's true. I think I've definitely seen it most on YouTube as well. I've seen it less so on places like Spotify and Apple Music. I feel like they've at least had, or they've been a part of the contract maybe, where they're in the
yeah, because they're paying for it though, right? Because when they get their music onto that platform, they're always paying the artist producer of the music. So it's not really like YouTube. I feel like you're getting paid, right? But it's not a direct payment. It's kind of a long way around it. Whereas Apple
Yeah.
Music now, I feel like goes directly to them, and the producer in that makes the money as well. Whereas YouTube would go straight to the artist.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. But
Kind of a little bit off topic, but like it's an interesting battle.
yeah. So how it all moves forward, I'm sure it'll be great. I'd be interested to see what Sony does with this, if they want to merge it so that they get more Japanese fans onto Crunchyroll as well. Like, because
It'd be pretty cool.
Sony doesn't have, they don't own, as far as I know, Netflix. They don't own Amazon, right? Of course not. But like, if they can find
The interesting thing here, right, is like I've tried using Crunchyroll from Japan. It doesn't work.
exactly, it doesn't work, and so that's why I think maybe licensing and like a big company like Sony that's now at the head of it can probably chase down more of the licensing to be able to welcome in newer viewers and make it so that people in Japan might be able to use it as well.
But like it's such an easy avenue in Japan to get a whole like your whole little hands on, right? It's so easy to just walk out and get anime. So like, are they really going to utilize it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's more.
Like you just flick on your TV and there's anime. You don't have to go specifically buy it if you want. If you're looking for something specific, maybe. But
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be
and if you're already paying for Netflix, then it's there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like for instance, like we just mentioned, how I watched Tonikaku Kawaii that last season. That's not on Japanese Netflix, and I couldn't find it anywhere else on a Japanese site. So there are.
Is it a Crunchyroll exclusive though?
Oh, that might be why.
Because sometimes Crunchyroll produce anime and they keep it as an exclusive.
Yeah, and so maybe I guess that gives more incentive, just like Netflix does their own exclusives to get people. Might be an incentive for some
like
big
Alice
fans.
in Wonderland, Borderland.
Yeah, that was. Ooh, shout out to that one again. That was a good drama.
Unreal.
But
And season 2 hopefully coming soon.
is that supposed to be this year?
Apparently, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Otherwise, I was gonna say anime in culture. How is anime affected the internet, or how has the internet been affected by anime? I feel like there's so many memes. There's so much, like we just mentioned a little bit. I don't go on Reddit much. Do you go on Reddit?
No, I've never a relationship with Reddit. That place is a dark little website, like corner of the earth that I am not willing to enter.
Okay, so we're much the same in that we don't seek out time on Reddit. Every now and again, when I've searched something on Google and it comes up with like Reddit answers, and I want a suggestion for like a website or like whatever, I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, just see what some people have said. But that's as far as my Reddit experience goes. I feel like
Yeah, I wouldn't even I don't even go that far. Like I'm a part of another one called Quora, like Quoara, I think.
oh yeah.
And that's got some interesting stuff. It's similar to Reddit, but like it's more informational. Like they ask questions about, financial planning, or I saw something the other day about Chinese mythology, about how they used to cut people in half as a torture method, as punishment.
Goodness.
Like just straight up slice them in half. And like it's got some interesting stuff. But like I use that because I don't know how, but I get emails from them. So now I get emails. And then I get emails. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get emails and somehow I get onto that.
I feel like I've seen that website before. I feel like in general, so not like we seek out too much stuff, right? But how has anime affected the internet? I feel like, for instance, Instagram as well, right? There's huge followings of people who only post like photos from like different anime that's happening right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that I think it's mainly a meme thing on the internet. I don't feel like it's I don't feel like it's affected it hugely, except for its fans. Like its fans have this like corner of the world that they love it, and they're gonna go all out and buy all this stuff, and then that's their little corner, and no one else really ventures in there unless they get a friend that hooks them into it.
Yeah. Like I'm just trying to think. There was an anime that I was watching recently, which is another one of those kind of like cutesy, chill ones, with the guy and the girl who like each other, but they're in high school, so it's like awkward love kind of thing. What's it called again? Miyamura is the boy from it. Horimiya. 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 Wow, I can't even say it. Horimiya. I think it's the Dimi that's giving me the Horimiya. Anyway, that's the anime. I have just seen. Yeah, sorry, you're just laughing at me now because I'm having trouble saying this.
It makes me feel so good knowing that you're struggling.
Bro, it's a super weird name. Anyway, just on my Instagram recently, I feel like I liked a couple of the photos because it's like one of those cute anime that I've been watching recently. I've been watching with my girlfriend, and I'm just like, I liked a couple of the photos, right? And then I've just seen so many more people, like fans of this anime, who have been making like entire Instagrams, and they're just followed by like thousands and thousands of people. And I'm like,
I know. Can you imagine how much money them people are making?
Well, I mean, I guess, right? Like if they're making it into merch, if they're making it into like, I mean, hopefully.
Not even that, like through sponsorships and ads and stuff like that, you would still make a ridiculous amount. I think if you've got over a certain amount of viewers, they partner you, and then every view or something, you get so much money.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how Instagram goes, but I'm sure if they've got thousands of people, they should, yeah, try and make the most of that. But like I feel like that's one thing that anime has been doing, is like taking over those sections where people make memes or like post photos or favorite moments from an anime. I feel like after every Shingeki no Kyojin, after every Attack on Titan, they have like a little video or something that's coming out on my feed. So I have to make sure and watch the episode before I go on like Instagram or anything.
I know, right? That's why I left some of the Black Clover. I left the Black Clover group specifically because they would just post spoilers like straight after it's out. Like they don't give anyone a chance to go watch it.
And come on, at least have like a 48-hour like a ban on spoilers, you know?
Yeah, some decency. Like, so I think it was like the day after. I was so mad. It was when, I shouldn't say it. Spoilers. Have you watched Update?
No, I haven't.
Oh, really? Okay, I won't say anything then.
I love how you were like, yeah, I'm going to spoil this anyway. And then I was like, bro, don't do this to me.
Where have you seen up to?
Where have I seen up to? I'm pretty sure it was up to like is it 160? Is that 164 now?
Oh, so you would have seen it then.
Okay.
Like, I think so. Just let me bring up Crunchyroll and double check. So I don't want to like spoil it, and then you're like, Oi, douchebag.
Bro. Yeah, no, fair.
But yeah, so that's why I left that.
Yeah, I feel like that's why I haven't joined groups necessarily beforehand either. Or
I was more trying to get amongst the community for this, like for our podcast, right? To bring it to people who might enjoy our stuff, and it just wrecked it for me.
100%. I feel like that's what I've looked at some communities, like Facebook communities and stuff as well. That too many spoilers out here. Like, just let people watch the thing. If we say spoilers on the podcast, we'll try our best to mention that it'll be a spoiler. We'll say, I think we've said before when we talked about Dr. Stone, we mentioned soft spoilers before we talked about it. But
yeah, but we said it was going to be a spoiler cast on that one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So for your warning, we will do our best to let you know beforehand.
I don't know if I think you've seen it, but I'm not going to say it just in case you haven't.
Oh, thanks, bro. So kind of you.
I will say it's about I won't say what though.
Okay, so then I haven't seen it yet because I'm up to a part where it's about to happen with but it hasn't. Like you can tell it's
yes, sweet.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes me feel so much better that I didn't spoil it for you.
Thank you, bro. I feel so much better too. Now I have to go watch it.
Yeah, well, if you'd listen to me and just keep up with it, we wouldn't have this issue.
Well, I'm sorry, dude. There's so much to watch, so much to keep up with. But
Yeah, just the basic stuff.
yeah, I figured. What do you think? So for the last thing we talk about today, anime goods. This can be anything, right?
I feel like there needs to be a decent site, not like what is it? Not is it Redbubble?
Yeah, Redbubble.
I feel like there just needs to be a site that condenses all this stuff and produces it to one person. I feel like there's a lot of different sites, but you never know if they're trustworthy or not. Like, you need a good site with good reputation that just anyone can go onto anywhere around the world for that matter and just buy stuff. Hey, maybe that's a business idea.
Maybe that's a business idea. Welcome to the Japan Show website for all your anime goods. Not just
we will get there. We need a few more followers first.
yeah. But no, I agree. I think there's that trustworthiness, and then there's the problem with, like, I've also bought stuff from Redbubble before. I feel like their quality could be higher. Like, I don't feel like I've got the highest quality like shirt, even though I've spent like as much as I could have gone and bought
like an $80.
Well, yeah. Like, I've bought a jumper there before. I bought shirts there before, and I just feel like there's a quality, like, I don't know how you say it, contingency issue. Yeah. And then sometimes with the print as well, it's not like a clean, like super nice print. So I try to avoid getting like super nice photos that are printed on stuff on Redbubble. I don't think it'll turn out well.
So do you run into licensing issues if you're going to do something like that though? Like have anime based merchandise? Like, do you run into a licensing issue with that?
I'm pretty sure people.
Like, is that why no one's done it yet?
Oh, like maybe if it's direct, right? That's why the Jump store, like Shonen Jump, that's why they have merch at their own stores, because they're licensed for all the photos and all the pictures that happen there. But
so if you customize the image, it's technically yours then.
Yeah. So then under copyright law, which is just a complex thing, so we won't talk about it in depth here. But pretty much, like, if you're just copying and pasting an image, there's a big problem. If you take that image and say, you've seen when people turn like the colors negative, or they like edit it so it's
broken,
like broken, or like
like half moved down a little bit, or sideways,
and they like make it a bit funky or like design it up a bit. I've heard like that's fine. As well as like probably the best example is when people draw the characters with their own art style, like people who can draw. It's like the best the best way that you can get it, because like it's your own interpretation of something that you like.
Yeah, okay.
But
we'll just have to play with Photoshop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of anime goods out there. Having been to Akihabara, you've been to Akihabara as well, right? Yeah. I think this what is it called? All the figures and stuff. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, figurines. Yeah, it is. And it sucks that we can't get them in Australia.
Yeah.
Not the good ones, anyway.
There's a couple of stores in Brisbane, so maybe I'll leave their names with you another time before PC.
Please.
Oh, that's what the prayer hands were for. I was
Yeah, no, you guarantee that bookshelf sitting beside me is going to be filled with figurines if I find a store.
That's what I
and
like
Japanese manga.
Like I guess I already mentioned before, like my camper mates, when we've gone to Japan before, they are just all about the figurines. I don't know, I haven't gotten too many, as you can see with my little bookshelf back here. For all the viewers, I'm sorry. We should try and start making this a video.
See, but they're not. Yeah, we should.
These are pop vinyls.
Not figurines. They're pop vinyls. They're different.
Yeah.
It's like anime and cartoons, I feel like.
Yeah. So I've thought about getting figurines for these, like the actual Japanese versions as well. And I've got figurines before in Japan. I don't even know where my figurines have gone. I got them at like the Crane games and stuff like that, because that's the funnest way.
Oh, unreal. Except you waste so much money doing it that way. By the time you get it, you might as well just walk in and buy it.
It's worth the experience. As long as you have an end. Like you tell yourself, I'm only spending this much here, then you're fine.
I have wanted to break one of those machines before.
Just break it.
Yeah, it wasn't giving me the toy.
That's fair. You have to go to Sega.
It can be so frustrating.
Yeah, you have to go to Sega. They're usually like the nicest people, and their staff, if they see you're having trouble, they'll like set it up so it's really easy for you to get it.
So he told me is we just got to go in there and screw around and act like we're sucking at laugh.
Yeah, exactly. And then they help you with it. It's fantastic.
Because I know when we were waiting for ping pong, we played ping pong when we were in Japan, and I remember we were waiting to get into one, and we went down to the like little arcades while we waited.
Yeah.
And like we tried in a couple. We didn't win anything, unfortunately. I think you won your girlfriend maybe like a little plushie.
Oh, was that when I won the like bread, the pun?
Might have been. I don't know. I remember we went into one. I think you won something. I don't know what it was though.
Oh. Yeah. So there's like a lot of machines. We should talk about that someday.
So
as
much
well.
to cover. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah.
So anime goods, right? This is what I'm trying to get at. There's some people who like figurines. Myself, Isaac, we've bought shirts, jumpers before, sweatshirts, hoodies for those people who don't. Jumpers is an Australian word.
Is it?
Or is it used in the UK as well? I'm not sure.
I know it's used in the US. UK, I have no idea about.
US is most common. Hoodie. My God.
Yeah, but hoodie and jumper are the same thing.
Well, I mean, to us in Australia, I feel like in
Hoodie
Canada,
just sounds like you're from the gangs.
yeah. I feel like in Canada we never said jumper, so that was one of the biggest standout words for me when I first moved here.
Really?
But anyway, I digress. Today we're talking about these anime goods. So yeah, maybe I wish that they had like a better site. Do you reckon there should just be like a big company like Amazon should set up their own anime goods section?
No, I want to own it.
Yeah. You want to own it. All right.
This is where I go do my translating degree. We set up a company,
Mm-hmm.
make millions of dollars.
Boom. We're set for life.
By ripping off the people of Australia. Wait, did I say that aloud?
Oh, come on, man. Most of our listeners are from Australia. You mean to say we're not ripping people off from Australia? We are bringing you. We're doing the hard work. We're bringing all the goods.
Yeah, bring you what you want.
We're bringing what you want from the place where you want it right to your door, you know?
Yeah. Maybe we'll have an in-store store one day, but for now, it's just online. When we get it up and running.
Yeah. It'd be
Life
cool.
goals.
Like all the anime and stuff that we mentioned, right? To get some like merch or like cool designs done of.
I mean, there is a store in Australia. They are called, I will give you the website. I used them when I started my business a couple of years ago. Business didn't work out if you're curious, but I found some cool stuff here.
Was it like people that
It's called AnimeWorks.
anime? Oh, I feel like I've
.com.au.
heard of that.
And like they're all right, but they've got some bootleg stuff, so just be careful if you're buying from there. It's not all correct. There is another website that's a wholesaler that I got my stuff from that had actual proper figurines that were licensed. But I obviously can't get them out because you can't buy them. I won't give it out because you can't buy them wholesale.
Yeah.
You have to have an ABN set up website and all this other stuff to be a supplier of theirs.
So
So
what you're
if
telling
it gets
me,
to that point, I can start supplying stuff, but because I've still got my accounts with them.
yeah. So what you're telling me is you want a place that sells just like all the legit good anime goods.
Yeah. So like in terms of figurines and stuff, I think it's really important to keep them licensed. But if you're creating shirts and that, I don't see a problem with selling them or posters and
Yeah, and just if you have,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you have high quality like prints, materials that you're using.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like people are willing to pay the premium these days for like something good that they'll recommend later.
For quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like if you give people quality, they'll always return.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things with online shopping for shirts for me, is that I used to, like, at the end of high school when I was buying a lot of anime merch. I was pretty happy with my stuff. I bought a Haikyuu jumper from Redbubble. I mean, it was pretty good. It wasn't a high detailed like picture or lettering or anything, but I found that the material just like over time it became like a baggy kind of like stretched in random places and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I bought two jumpers. I bought a Kimetsu no Yaiba jumper and a Haikyuu jumper, and they're not like that proper jumper or hoodie. They're like a like a sports mesh almost,
Yeah,
like that real silky kind of feeling. And they're nice. Don't get me wrong, comfy as. I would wear them. Well, when it's winter here, I wear them in the aircon.
yeah,
But like comfy as, no, they're not really meant to keep you warm as per se. They keep you a little bit warm, but they're not. That's not their design purpose. They're just meant to be worn and look cool. And like, although they're great, I love them. They've started to fade. I've only had them a year, if that.
yeah. So I feel like we're both feeling the same thing, but like a company that's just trustworthy. For instance, this jumper I'm currently wearing, like the North Face, right? They're expensive stuff to get, but high quality, and then they'll like last you so long, and it won't be a year, and then your stuff's fading, right? It'll be like a year, and you're still like, oh, this is a fantastic jumper.
Yeah, so what we're saying is if you ever find the Japan store online, which we'll probably get there one day, it'll be only high quality stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll hold ourselves to that.
Because Isaac and I are all about that high quality. So we got you.
And all your anime needs.
Yeah, all of the needs. But anyway, I think that's all for today. Hey.
Yeah, man. Pretty sure that's everything.
Yeah, we covered some anime stuff. Let us know. For a reminder for everyone, we have started a Discord server. So come join us on that. Let us know what anime you've been watching. Let us know about your experience in your country that you're listening from. Did anime play a role in like where you're from, or was it non-existent? Was it you couldn't get your hands on it?
We'll drop our Discord server below so you can access the community.
Yes. Let us know about, anime goods. What do you look for? Are you like us? Do you want high quality stuff? Is that what you're after? We understand. Yeah.
Indeed.
So for now, make sure to subscribe or follow where you're listening, and throw us a like. And we will catch you again on the next one.
Johnny!
Johnny!